Baltimore City is seeing another act of violence this weekend surrounding dirt bike riders. What we know about this incident and how it fits into a trend of problems with dirt bike riders here in the city of Baltimore. And reaction to Mayor Brandon Scott's Squeegee Collaborative plan continues to pour in this morning. The promise and pitfalls one city activist sees with the recommendations.
And we're off to a much colder start this morning. I'll let you know exactly how long this cooler trend's going to last in a couple of minutes.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
And good morning to you. We're starting off with a live look here in Towson. You can see it's still a little, not sunny yet, even though the sun has risen, but already it's Sunday, November 13th. I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's get right into your forecast for today. Meteorologist Amy Aronson, good morning.
Morning. Yeah, we are waiting that sun to brighten things up. Clouds this morning, sun this afternoon. But what we definitely have, the colder temperatures. They've arrived. Our numbers are running a solid 15 to 20 degrees below where they were at this time yesterday. So quite a change. That puts us in the low to mid 40s to start things off this morning. We are looking at a much cooler day ahead. So as you plan out your day, plan on chilly temperatures, hot coffee this morning. As we head through the afternoon, not much of a warm up. Temperatures will actually get stuck in the brisk low 50s today. And this is just the start of a big pattern change. I'll explain exactly what this cooler change means for the rest of the week in 10 minutes. Taylor?
We're starting off this morning in a city in crisis. Now, sources tell us, Fox 45 News, that someone was on a dirt bike. They shot at somebody in the traffic circle on President Street. Now, video from that scene shows heavy police presence. We've reached out to police for more information on this incident. We have not yet heard back, but we'll follow up this morning. It's the latest example of a long history of problems with dirt bike riders in the city of Baltimore. Even though dirt bikes are illegal in the city, a law police largely don't enforce, last year a rider was killed after hitting an emergency vehicle. The year before that, a rider hit a group of pedestrians, including a 5-year-old child. In 2021, the city dissolved its dirt bike task force, but that task force was created back in 2016. It was dedicated to identifying and charging those riding bikes in the city illegally. Just last month, Mayor Brandon Scott signed a new bill into law creating stiffer penalties for dirt bike riders, including a fine of up to $1,000 and up to a year in jail. That law went into effect last week. Law enforcement experts we spoke with say they don't think the new law will change much.
If the police aren't going to enforce it now, what makes them think they're going to enforce this when there's just another law with a $1,000 fine?
Now, Fox 45 News has also spoken with dirt bike riders who say they don't care what they're doing is illegal.
I just ride my dirt bike for fun, for real.
But they're illegal.
I mean, I do it for fun. It ain't illegal to me.
Fox 45 News has done extensive reporting on dirt bikes in Baltimore. You can find all of our stories there on our website, foxbaltimore.com. Elsewhere in a city in crisis, a longtime problem in Baltimore and a potential solution. Fox 45's relentless coverage of the mayor's Squeegee Collaborative continues this morning. It's been 3 days since the mayor announced the 18 recommendations from the collaborative. We still have a lot of questions. Here's what we know so far. Citations will be based on a 3-strike system. You've got 6 enforcement zones where drivers could also face consequences if they engage with Squeegee kids in those areas. Now, Squeegee kids will also be paid through an earn and learn program if they take part in workforce training. Reaction to the collaborative has been pouring in across the city. Fox 45's Riel Creighton spoke with one group working to get Squeegee kids off of those intersections.
The long-awaited results after 4 months, and tonight new reaction to the plan released by the mayor's Squeegee Collaborative.
It's not just giving them money or not just giving them food. However, what we're doing is created a platform to be able to help them to be sustainable.
That's what Marlo Hargrove says his program includes. Another nonprofit leader who's also been working to help Squeegee kids. The executive director of FACE, an organization that's helped Baltimore's formerly incarcerated transition back, now with an expanded focus, working to move kids off corners, partnering with Kick Dreams United to offer Squeegee kids sneakers. Hargrove says entice them with the shoes first, then get them to the services. And they've already been on the ground for months.
They have the sneakers.
Okay.
We have the supportive wraparound services such as the mental health, substance abuse, case management, psychosocial therapy, life skills, job readiness program.
Part of the plan includes banning squeegeeing along 6 major corridors, new enforcement. Hargrove sees some promise, but also pitfalls in the plan, squeegeeing potentially becoming more spread out.
Pushing them from one corner off, from one corner to the next corner, will eventually have them move into other areas, and it's just putting a Band-Aid over open wound, and it won't heal this way.
Hargrove says despite their outreach, they were never at the table to be part of the conversation, and for a plan that's expected to be rolled out early next year, he asks, why wait?
I think it needs to be implemented as soon as now, as soon as yesterday.
Now, Fox 45 News also spoke with Baltimore business owners. They tell us they're cautiously optimistic about the plan, but have some questions about how it will work.
We saw the map, but are you not allowed to be at President, at Pratt Street, but you can be over here, or you can be over here? I mean, it's like, what does this mean?
How are you going to find children that don't have the money to pay for the fines? Does that make sense to you?
It's been a lot of talk, so everything you see, you immediately go to that eye-rolling, okay, sure.
Now, we have some questions about the plan, too. It says squeegee kids will be cited for being in 6 disallowed zones, but it's not clear what that citation will be. We know squeegee kids will be paid to go through workforce training, but we're still curious as to how those payments will work and how much squeegee kids will actually make. We're still pressing for answers on both of those questions. On Friday, Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost questioned the mayor about the payments going to squeegee kids.
Will the kids themselves be getting the money, or will the money be going toward the organizations giving the training? And we still don't have a price tag on that, correct?
Earn and learn, right? So we have organizations that we have training programs with that the city funds. What will happen through that, as happens in apprenticeships across this country, is that young people who are were squeegeeing that commit to not doing that and commit to the training programs, commit to the entrepreneurs programs, commit to doing that, will receive funding through that action.
During the collaborative announcement on Thursday, Police Commissioner Michael Harrison made it clear the department is still working on a plan for giving out citations to squeegee kids. We asked Mayor Scott about that as well.
What will the citation be given for if they don't heed the 2 first warnings?
Right, as the police commissioner said yesterday, exactly what he said is what it's going to be. We know, and we also know that every case is going to be different as well.
BPD said that they were still working on it. They didn't exactly know how it was going to work.
We will do it with the laws on the books, as we said yesterday, and we'll continue to do that.
So the laws on the books are now being enforced, but for the last several months they weren't?
No, Mackenzie. Let's go back again. We enforce laws each and every day. We have a plan. There's support for the plan across the board. So let's have you guys do some responsible journalism and work alongside that plan to talk about how things will change. Thank you.
That brings us to our question of the day. Do you think Mayor Scott's squeegee plan will be fully implemented in work? So far, 96% who voted say no. We want to hear from everyone, though. Go to foxbaltimore.com/vote and weigh in there. A former county educator making a career change after decades in the field. Just ahead this morning on Project Baltimore, their concerns about school violence and worries for the future of teachers.
And we are looking at a freeze warning for our area now. This goes into effect late tonight and takes us through Monday morning. I'll explain exactly what this means for your temperatures as you step out the door tomorrow morning in a couple of minutes. It's 7:08. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
Fox 45 News, winner of 17 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
Making headlines this morning, President Joe Biden is in Cambodia this weekend for the annual summit between the U.S. and Southeast Asian nations. It's a chance for Biden to speak with the U.S. allies ahead of a highly anticipated face-to-face with Chinese President Xi Jinping later this week. Now, his first since taking office, Biden is urging greater cooperation in the region amid climate change, escalating tensions with China, and North Korea's recent provocations.
Together, we will tackle the biggest issues of our time, from climate to health security, defend against the significant threats of rule-based order, and to threats to the rule of law, and to build an Indo-Pacific that's free and open, stable and prosperous, resilient and secure.
Biden will meet with the president at the summit in Indonesia tomorrow. Major news coming out of Nevada this morning as election results are finally in. How a win for Democrats will impact Washington. Plus, ballot counting continues in Anne Arundel County as well. The latest on the race for county executive and the impact the wait could have on how people view the election. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. In this morning's Project Baltimore report, a former Baltimore County educator comes forward with a strong message to school leaders: get student violence under control. As Project Baltimore's Chris Passer explained, this former educator says the violence took such a toll on her health, it ultimately led to them leaving the profession.
Before the incident, what was your life like?
I had friends. I was happy. I socialized. I was thriving.
And now?
I just feel like a shell of myself. I'm just kind of existing.
This former Baltimore County school administrator does not want to be identified due to mental health treatment stemming from an incident at their former job.
After this interview, after I talk about it today, I'm ready to no longer discuss it unless absolutely necessary.
20 years in public education, and it all fell apart in 20 seconds.
That short period of time ended a career that I loved.
Project Baltimore blurred this school fight video to protect the identity of minors involved. But when it broke out a few years ago, this educator tried to stop it and was pulled to the ground by a student who came up from behind.
I remember just feeling the jerk. Yes, that was the catalyst.
As the physical wounds were treated, mental ones emerged. Though the educator had seen fights and intervened in violence before, this time was different. The student had approached from behind, creating a fear of the unknown that began to creep into everyday life.
I'm always afraid of things. I find myself withdrawn from friends, and so I just stayed in this constant fight-flight state of mind.
The symptoms all pointed to one thing: post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD.
Have you seen an increase in educators coming to you?
Yes.
Faith Attabule is a therapist who's treated many educators, including the one who spoke with Project Baltimore.
Not only is there an increase in people reaching out for help, there's also people changing careers, quitting their jobs because, or changing like just environment altogether.
Attabule says school violence is getting worse, and it makes sense. She says the COVID shutdowns slowed the emotional development of many children as they isolated at home. Once students returned to school, Attabule says many children lost the ability to handle situations rationally, which has resulted in more fights. At the same time, schools have changed the way they deal with violent students, and educators are dealing with the fallout. The National Education Association, the country's largest teachers union, surveyed its members in January on key issues causing teachers to leave the job. 76% of educators said student behavioral issues are a serious problem.
Over time, the system has just, rather than dealt with it, they just kind of either moved on or just adjusted as much as they can to make it now almost a norm.
Punched, kicked, thrown bottles at me.
Project Baltimore over the years has interviewed other educators who were exposed to school violence, developed PTSD, and received a disability retirement. Baltimore City teachers like Scott Miller Phoenix, and this Baltimore County teacher who asked not to be identified.
I would come home exhausted just from having 3 and 4 panic attacks a day.
But it's not just teachers and educators who face long-term consequences from the violence.
We are at a crisis here.
Those most affected, many would argue, are those committing the violence. Ryan Coleman, the president of the Randallstown chapter of the NAACP, has recently called on Baltimore County schools to issue long-term suspensions to violent students to send a message that this behavior is not acceptable.
This is really the school to prison pipeline here, okay? We're not showing our children what proper behavior is. And so they leave school thinking it's okay to hit a person.
So I think sometimes we have policies that protect the perpetrators more than the people who are attacked.
The educator we interviewed has since been granted a disability retirement, but still thinks about that day and the student who caused the injuries and faced no consequences. FOX45 is not identifying the student because he was a minor, but we looked him up on online court records. In 2018, a couple years after this fight, that student was arrested in Woodlawn and charged with second-degree assault. He spent nearly 2 weeks in jail. At the time, he was 18 years old.
I think people take for granted how violence in schools can impact individuals. Kids get hurt too, adults get hurt. It's not something to be taken lightly.
I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.
Oh, it is a chilly morning out there. We want to check in with meteorologist Amy Aronson because, boy, really a switch up from yesterday morning, Amy.
Yeah, exactly. 20 degrees. That's quite a switch up. 20 degrees colder this morning than it was at this time yesterday morning. And that's that colder air arriving behind that cold front. Now, we are starting off dry. Yes, we have some morning clouds, but morning clouds will give way to some afternoon sun. Unfortunately, it's not going to come through with a lot of warmth. Instead, temperatures aren't going to change a whole lot. We're in the chilly mid-40s this morning. Plus, we've got a wind coming in from the northwest at 15 miles an hour, making it feel even colder, making it feel pretty brisk as you step out, maybe for that morning run or jog or just a walk with the dog. Now, as we look at the big picture here, we'll notice that front is far behind us. We see some snow showers off to our west. They will not reach us. That's going to stay confined to the higher elevations in western parts of Pennsylvania. For us, we are included in that purple color. That's actually a freeze warning that goes into effect late tonight and will take us through early Monday due to the potential for sub-freezing temperatures in all of these locations. That means if you have any sensitive plants outside, you're going to want to make sure you protect them overnight. And here's a look at the reason why. Today's a struggle to get out of the 40s. I think we just barely touch 50 this afternoon. And then tonight, under clear skies, temperatures will fall and drop into the upper 20s, low 30s in most spots. We all start off freezing tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, just as cool. Under sunny skies, I think we stay stuck in the 40s as we head through Monday. Mid and upper 40s as we wrap up the day. And that's just the beginning of a cooler week ahead of us. We do have one rain chance I want to talk about. Rain/snow chance. Now, fortunately, no snow showers for us here in the Baltimore area, but the higher elevations of Maryland, we'll see that Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. For us, it's just a chilly rain that pushes through Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. Some soaking rain at times. This should wrap up really, really early on Wednesday, and after that, we are dry again for the remainder of the week. That means if you have some yard work or some raking, some leaf blowing to do, the next 2 days look better for it. Yes, it's going to be chilly, but it's going to be dry through Monday. Come Tuesday, we are tracking that chance for rain by the afternoon. Chilly rain with temperatures stuck in the mid-40s. Not much of a warm up this week. Every single day, temperatures are coming in below that normal high of 59 degrees. We're in the upper 40s tomorrow, mid-40s on Tuesday with that chance for some afternoon rain. Showers will wrap up really early on Wednesday. And after that, we are mostly dry again as we head through the end of the week. But you'll notice it's a chilly stretch. Not only do we have highs in the mid and upper 40s each day, we've got overnight lows dipping into the 30s, close to freezing pretty much every single morning. Taylor?
And meanwhile, the cost of heating your home is going up across the country. Why it could be even more expensive in Maryland compared to other places. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. Turning now to your Vote 2022 coverage, the Associated Press declares Democratic Senator Catherine Cortez Masto will win re-election in Nevada. With that victory, Democrats will keep control of the U.S. Senate. Democrats will hold 50 seats. Republicans now hold 49, at least until the runoff vote in Georgia. That's going to happen on December 6th. And even if Republicans win in Georgia, Vice President Kamala Harris would continue to cast the tie-breaking vote, guaranteeing Democrats that majority. Now, Democrat Governor-elect Wes Moore making the rounds on national media. He appeared on MSNBC last night with hopes that he will accomplish here in office. Moore will appear on Fox News later today and will recap what he said on FOX45 News tonight at 10 o'clock. And while Wes Moore celebrates his win, we still don't know who won the race for Anne Arundel County Executive. Right now, Republican Jessica Hare is winning. She's up 51% of the vote compared to 48 for incumbent Stuart Pittman. Now, the county scanned about 2,500 mail-in ballots just yesterday, and there's still thousands left to count, meaning we likely won't know those results for a few more days.
The longer it takes to count ballots, the more crazy conspiracy theory stuff happens, and you place more distrust in elections. And you're seeing that right now. Democrats mail in their votes now, and Republicans had some of these early leads, and all of a sudden these leads are going away.
Now, another race we're waiting on is that for District 12's B State delegate. The district covers northern Anne Arundel County. Democrat Gary Simons is facing Republican Ashley Arez. Simmons is in the lead right now, but just a few dozen votes separate those two candidates. All right, topping your consumer news this morning, heating costs, those are going up, and they're expected to be higher here in Maryland compared to other parts of the Northeast. Mainly because the government data shows the country has just 25 days supply of diesel, and Northeasterns heavily rely on diesel for home heating. Diesel prices for November have already skyrocketed by 38%. The national average for diesel fuel is more than $5 a gallon. With holiday deliveries come port pirates, how you can keep your packages safe. And Baltimore seeing another act of violence this week surrounding dirt bike riding. What we know about this incident and how it fits into a trend of issues with dirt bike riding here in the city of Baltimore. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
And good Sunday morning to you. We're starting off here with a live look at the harbor. A little less sun than we saw yesterday, and apparently it'll get chilly, but we want to check in with meteorologist Amy Aronson in just a few. Thanks for being here with us. Amy, chilly temperatures out there today. I mean, really cold coming in.
Yeah, back to reality, right? Overnight, temperatures dropped, and this morning feels much different than it did yesterday. We've actually got some snow showers showing up west of here in the higher elevations of Maryland out through western parts of Pennsylvania. Locally, we're not seeing any flakes, but we are included in a freeze warning. That's for late tonight through early tomorrow morning due to the potential for temperatures that are actually cold enough for snow, although we won't be seeing that here, at least not yet. This morning, it's chilly. We're still just a step above freezing, but still starting off in the much cooler low to mid 40s this morning. And this is pretty much where we're going to stay today. These numbers not changing a whole lot. We are looking at a brisk day ahead of us. Despite clouds giving way to sun, we are tracking winds gusting up to 20-25 miles an hour and high temperatures actually struggling to get out of the upper 40s, just barely reaching the low 50s this afternoon. And this is just the start of a big temperature change. It's not going to be warming up this week. I'll explain exactly where these temperatures are headed for the rest of the week and when we are tracking a chance for some showers here in 10 minutes. Taylor?
We're starting off this half hour with your Vote 2022 coverage. On Election Day, voters approved all 11 ballot questions in the city of Baltimore. That includes a measure to bring Baltimore City Police into control by the city. Now, it's a move many in the city have been trying to advocate for years. Fox 45's Maxine Stryker has the whole impact. She breaks it down.
For more than a century, Baltimore City Police has functioned as a state agency, leaving the city without the authority to fully regulate the department. But that's all about to change. Tuesday, 82% of voters approved the ballot measure to bring the Baltimore Police Department back under local control.
This is something that Brandon Scott has been lobbying for years on.
Question H was a key policy goal of Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott, who says it will allow the department to be more responsive to the community.
Local control of BPD is about racial justice, about police accountability, and it's about representative democracy.
Now the city will no longer have to seek approval from the Maryland General Assembly when it comes to policy changes. Democratic State Senator Corey McCray spearheaded the legislation. A similar bill stalled in Annapolis in 2019. The police department will remain under a federal consent decree, but experts hope it will increase accountability in a department who's short hundreds of officers and been the subject of a major corruption scandal.
The accountability factor is more there for citizens and for local government, where they basically have to, they can't push it off on the state anymore.
Former BPD Deputy Commissioner Jason Johnson says the change likely won't affect crime as the city remains on pace for another year of more than 300 homicides.
Your average Baltimore City resident or visitor to Baltimore will notice absolutely no change.
Full control will transfer to Baltimore City on January 1st of next year.
Another big question on the ballot in Baltimore was question K. Voters did decide to limit city council members and the mayor, as well as city comptroller, to 2 terms in office. It's in response to Baltimore Council's last fast-tracking of a bill that would now decrease the number of years of service-elected leaders need to earn pension. It's down from 12 to 8. Experts say that measure could cost taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars.
The real question is, why does a part-time position, elected position, deserve a lifetime pension? Much less to shorten the rules. Like I said, they're going to put in about 30 grand. Taxpayers are going to pay a lifetime pension to life expectancy for up to $500,000.
Now, the Baltimore City Police Union has been pushing back on that pension plan. Remember, 12 years ago, the city of Baltimore changed the police and fire pensions from 20 years to 25 years of service. That would be what's required for them to get pension. Now, the FOP president is calling the council's bill a, quote, privileged class move and an attempt at self-service. He says if the council decides to change their own pension plans, then they should move the fire and police pension plans back to 20 years. Shifting gears here now to the crisis in the classroom. At this point, 6 guns have been taken from Baltimore City public schools this year alone. Police say the latest was found on an 18-year-old student at Mervo High School. They also found drugs. A record of 15 guns were found in Baltimore schools. This was last year. And just this past September, a student shot and killed at Mervo High School during dismissal. Mayor Brandon Scott tells Fox 45 News he's hoping the incoming state's attorney, Ivan Bates, and Governor-elect Wes Moore will help with this situation.
When you see the record amount of guns that this police department is seizing, that means that we have a lot of work to do on the backside to talk about that accountability as well. And that's what I am so excited about now, working with our new state's attorney and our new governor to fix and work on things in the system to create that accountability after arrest, because we, the school police, BPD, can continue to seize and make record amounts of gun arrests, but it's also about what happens on the backside.
Now turning to Michigan, where a mom is leading a local fight to get, quote, sexually explicit books off of school shelves. Stephanie Butler is concerned about the content in Dearborn Public Schools. She says various books confirmed to be in its libraries contain inappropriate content for young students. Months of digging, Butler says she's gotten other parents to join in on her cause. She accuses the district of using Title IX as, quote, an excuse to offer the books.
Title IX does not say you need to put sex books on the shelves. That's not representing LGBTQ. If you want to represent, no kid should be represented as some sexual creatures. I don't care, be it homosexual or heterosexual. It's not okay. They're kids.
Now, Dearborn Public Schools has implemented a review process where parents can now weigh in on the library books. The school board has also previously said it welcomes concern from parents. Sinclair Broadcast Group reached out to the district for comment, but we've not heard back. Questions remain this morning surrounding President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness program, the opposition it's facing, and what we can expect in the weeks to come.
And the colder air is returning to our area. We're in the chilly mid-40s this morning, but look at what's still on the way. Lots of 30s off to our west. I'll explain exactly when our temperatures will reach near freezing levels and what it means for the week ahead in a couple of minutes. It's 7:39. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
Alrighty, we're looking ahead to the holiday season, and law enforcement around the country, they're warning everyone to be on the lookout for, yeah, you see it, porch pirates in just the next few weeks. Lexi with our Sinclair station in Wisconsin has tips to help you protect yourself this year.
According to CNR research, package theft continues to be an issue for many Americans. About 23% say they experienced package theft last year.
There are millions of packages that are going to be stolen over the next 6 weeks as the holidays approach.
Bob Tucker with ADT Security says porch pirates are on the rise.
We are getting increased inquiries from our current customers who are wanting to add camera devices to their current security systems, and we're also getting inquiries from new new customers.
It's theft, and there's always the potential of other issues that may happen, or attacks, or whatever the case may be.
Lee Franzen says he's never experienced a porch pirate, but his worry remains high for others.
I'm concerned especially of the seniors and those people that are not able to monitor that stuff.
ADT suggests the best way to catch a porch pirate is with a security camera. That way you can see the thief and turn video in to police.
Numerous studies have found that just the camera itself being visible to the would-be thief is enough to deter them to go on to another porch.
30% of people who dealt with package theft last year have had a package stolen more than once.
It's not uncommon, and certainly when the holidays are approaching.
Lieutenant Mark Weary with Fox Valley Metro Police says porch pirates don't just hit around Christmas time.
It is an issue that happens all year long because people order things at home all year long. Stealing off of porches is really a crime of opportunity.
As a crime of opportunity, preventing or discouraging package theft can be done in multiple ways.
Have the package delivered to your workplace or to a trusted neighbor, somebody you know that's going to be home.
Still ahead this morning, our coverage of the Squeegee Collaborative continues. Why community activists say the plan doesn't go far enough.
President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan hitting another wall in court. I'm Atra Al-Nashar with what it means for the tens of millions of borrowers who were promised relief.
Making headlines this morning, the Department of Justice is stepping in to appeal a ruling by a federal judge in Texas. It's a motion to strike down President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. That plan forgives up to $10,000 or $20,000 for Pell Grant recipients for borrowers who fall below the income threshold. It was already on hold following a separate challenge. Now, many nervously waiting to learn the outcome. National correspondent Atra Al-Nashar has a look at where this thing stands.
The 26 million Americans who owe federal student loans and already applied for forgiveness want to know, will they or won't they get what was promised by the president?
This is a game changer for so many people.
Trump-nominated District Court Judge Mark Pittman of Texas striking down the president's student loan forgiveness plan, calling it an unconstitutional exercise of Congress's legislative power. The Department of Justice already filing an appeal. In the meantime, the Department of Education pausing applications. The administration argues they do have authority to forgive loans under the 2003 Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students Act. The lawsuit brought by the conservative Job Creators Network, representing 2 Texans with student debt who do not qualify for forgiveness. claiming they were arbitrarily excluded from the program and that the implementation didn't follow the Administrative Procedure Act's formal notice and comment rule. George Washington University law professor Alan Morrison says their argument is flawed.
The remedy now would be to require the agency to go through that procedure and consider giving people more money. It would not be the remedy to cut off the money from the people who already have it.
The Job Creators Network reacting to the ruling.
We feel very confident in our case, but we are prepared to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court.
And it may come to that. However, Justice Amy Coney Barrett's already dismissed 2 separate cases challenging the president's plan. But another option for implementing the plan can be found across the street in Congress through legislation, which is how the president originally wanted to get this done. Midterm ballots still being counted, but the balance of power in Washington doesn't appear to be shaping up in a way that would deliver enough Democratic votes to pass the president's forgiveness plan into law. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atrel Nashar reporting.
And we're off to a chilly start this morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Amy Aronson. Lots of blue behind you.
Yeah, this is an indication of what's coming, Taylor. The blue stuff is moving in, and unfortunately, it looks like it's here to stay for quite some time. This is our 6 to 10-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. It runs all the way through November 22nd, and if you see all that dark blue on the map here, it now extends into the Baltimore area. That's a really high chance our temperatures will stay below average through that time period. And in the short term, that is currently the case. Waking up a little gray and gloomy this morning, but we are dry to begin with temperatures starting off in the much cooler low to mid 40s. Quite a distance from the upper 60s that we enjoyed yesterday. And that all has to do with this cold front that has pushed through. On the very, very back side of it, actually cold enough for some snow showers this morning in the higher elevations of western Maryland up through western parts of Pennsylvania. They will not be reaching us here. Instead, we're actually going to stay dry today. Clouds will make way for some sun as we head through the second half of the day, but we're not tracking a whole lot of warmth. Looking ahead in future scan shows the clouds dissipating for some sun before sunset this evening. As we get into Monday, we start off bright and sunny in the morning. It's going to be chilly, near freezing to start as we head through the afternoon. Another cooler day ahead of us despite all the sunshine with high pressure moving through. Now let's talk about our next weather maker coming on Tuesday, starting with this bigger picture to show you that in areas of western Maryland, this actually means more snow showers there. For us locally, does not mean that, just means a chilly rain will unfold starting Tuesday afternoon, taking us through Tuesday evening into Tuesday night, wrapping up really, really early on Wednesday as this whole system blows by us. And behind that, it's just going to stay like this, pretty cool. Today's the start of a cooler stretch. We only make our way into the low 50s today. Tomorrow morning, we start off near freezing, and we struggle to get out of the 40s during the afternoon. So it's going to be a bit of a shock to the system, especially tomorrow morning. We are included in this freeze warning that goes into effect late tonight, takes us through Monday due to the potential for sub-freezing temperatures. This means a couple of things. Bundle up for your Monday morning drive heading to work or to school, but also protect your sensitive plants overnight. Anything that's susceptible to this, because we've got a couple of mornings with near freezing temperatures. Wednesday, the mildest of the stretch here, and we're still stuck in the 30s. Overnight lows will drop into the low 30s each and every morning all the way through Friday. Besides that rain chance Tuesday into Wednesday, we're mostly dry this week, but we are much, much cooler. We've got upper 40s again Thursday through next Saturday. Taylor?
Trending this morning, actor and producer Alec Baldwin is suing to clear his name after the fatal shooting on the Rust movie set. Cinematographer Holland Hutchins died in the 2021 shooting, and director Joel Souza was injured. Baldwin has filed a cross-complaint against members involved with the handling and supplying of that gun. He says he did not know it was loaded when he fired it. It comes after the movie's script advisor, Naomi Mitchell, sued Baldwin, the production company, and other crew members, alleging negligence. Playbill saying goodbye to Twitter. The Broadway theater publication posted a statement on its account on Friday saying it will no longer be active on the social media platform. Playbill's top executives say it's because in recent weeks, Twitter has, quote, greatly expanded its tolerance for hate, negativity, and misinformation. Twitter has been going through big changes since Elon Musk took over as owner on the platform over the past week. Now, the company has laid off half of its workforce and changed key features of its product. Much like the last time two teams played in Baltimore, the 2022 edition of Navy Notre Dame went down to the wire. How the midshipmen nearly pulled off the comeback, coming up in Sports Unlimited.
Welcome into your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. The Navy-Notre Dame rivalry dates back to the late 1920s. The two teams have gone at it plenty of times over the years. More than 20 of those have been played in Charm City. Yesterday, the Fighting Irish and the Midshipmen got together in Baltimore for the 95th meeting all time. First matchup in Charm City since 2008. Notre Dame off to a hot start, already up 7-0. Drew Pine to Braden Lenzy. He somehow makes the catch, pins it against the defender's back. Unbelievable. So Navy in a 14-0 hole. The give here goes to Daba Fofana, and he is gone. 36 yards to the crib, Midshipmen on the board. But Notre Dame would score 21 in the second quarter. This time Pine gonna take it himself, fighting ahead for more yards, dives for the pylon, and he's in for 6. Fighting Irish led 35-13 at the half. Notre Dame alum and Ravens tackle Ronnie Stanley in the house, enjoying that bye week. Notre Dame couldn't say bye to Navy, though. Second half, here come the Midshipmen. Xavier Arline to Mark Walker, 23 yards on the score. Good two-point conversion, cuts it to 11. Under 2 minutes to go. Masai Maynor in at quarterback. Look at end zone. McQuell Haywood with the sliding catch. My goodness. Navy needs another two-point conversion to keep their hopes alive, and they'd get it. Vincent Terrell Jr. getting it done. Down 3, under a minute and a half to go. Navy needs the onside kick, but the Midshipmen unable to recover it. Notre Dame wins a thriller, 35-32 the final. What a ball game. Maryland football may be bowl eligible, but Mike Loxley and the Terps football team, they're still not content. And that's understandable. They want to make a statement and show the Big Ten that they're for real. A win on the road over a ranked Penn State team would definitely help their cause. But it just wasn't the Terps' day. Maryland could not get anything going offensively, just 60 yards on the ground, 74 through the air. Defensively, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. Terps got behind 14-0 in the first after a 45-yard touchdown by Nick Singleton. In the second quarter, it was Singleton again. He was having his way all day, finding pay dirt again, this time on a 27-yard run. Terps shut out in Happy Valley 30-0. The first time they've been shut out since September of 2019, also against the Nittany Lions. Towson looking for its third straight win. Tigers roaring into their matchup on the road with Stony Brook. Tyrell Pigram connects with Isaiah Perkins early to break the scoreless tie. Stony Brook would score 14 unanswered. Let's fast forward to the third. Tigers trailing by a score. Pigram dials up Darian Street. 36 yards on the score, and the Tigers are back in business. Tied at 14 on the made extra point. Stony Brook would then take a 17-14 lead, but the Tigers, on a 3-yard run from Devin Matthews with under a minute to go, win their third straight game, 21-17 the final score. Morgan State locked in with Delaware State, and this one was all Bears all day long. First quarter, Delaware State on to punt, and it's blocked by Jose Robinson, and he returns it 26 yards on the score. He'll just do it all himself. That'll get the team fired up. Delaware State would take the lead in the second when C.J. Henry finds Bizette Woodley for the tud. Look what I found. The one-handed grab makes it a 7-6 game. Bears took the lead right before half. Deuce Taylor to Joseph Awumi. That caps off a 5-play, 38-yard drive. Behind big play after big play after big play, the Bears get the win. 37-7 the final. How about some D3 action? McDaniel and Johns Hopkins going head-to-head at the home of the Blue Jays. Johns Hopkins up 10-0 here. Danny Wolf punches it in from 4 yards out. Blue Jays take a 16-0 lead. McDaniel would answer right before the half. On the doorstep, DeAndre Carter in for 6. Johns Hopkins led 16-7 at the half. Blue Jays started the second half hot, and they would not look back. Spencer Ugla, 40-yard dash. See ya. Somehow gets out of that tackle. Johns Hopkins goes on to win big, 44-7, the final score. That's your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. Have a great Sunday.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
And good Sunday morning to you. It's a little bit dreary out there and a little chilly, but we're here on this Sunday, November 13th. I'm Taylor Stewart, and we're going to start you off on your week on the right foot. Meteorologist Amy Aronson with a lot of blue behind her.
A lot of blue, a lot of cold behind me. If you look closely at that camera shot there, it was shaking a little bit back and forth, and that's because it's also breezy to start off your Sunday morning. Our temperatures are down 15 to 20 degrees from this time yesterday, so a bit of a shock to the system if you are stepping out to maybe run some errands early this morning or just get the dog out for the first time. We're beginning the day in the very chilly low to mid 40s right now, and these numbers aren't going to change a whole lot. Now, what will change? The cloud cover. We're going to see clouds give way to some sun this afternoon, but that sunshine will be a little deceiving because we're not tracking much of a warming trend. Hot coffee all day long. Temperatures will be stuck in the upper 40s, low 50s as we head through the rest of the day. And this is just the start of a big pattern change for us. I'll explain exactly what that means for the week ahead and when I am tracking a chance for some rain showers in 10 minutes. Taylor?
All right, starting off this morning in a city in crisis. A longtime problem here in Baltimore, squeegee kids, and we've been covering relentlessly the mayor's new squeegee collaborative. It's been 3 days since the mayor announced the 18 recommendations from the collaborative, and we still have some questions. Here's what we know so far. Now, citations will be based on a 3-strike system in 6 enforcement zones. Now, drivers could face consequences, too, if they engage with squeegee kids in those zones. And squeegee kids will be paid through an Earn and Learn Services program if they take part in workforce training. Joining us this morning to weigh in, political commentator Kim Kallick. Now, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we know the basics of this plan, but we don't know yet how this money will be getting to squeegee kids through that Earn to Learn program that I just mentioned. Is it coming from the city, nonprofits? Is that something we need to dig into?
Absolutely, and I want to thank you guys for keeping track of this story because like many initiatives in the city, this is not an answer. Unfortunately, moving kids from one zone to another is basically what's going to happen. And you're going to see more squeegee washers in areas that you didn't see them before. And I have to wonder, like you said, where is this money coming from? We already have the African American Engagement Office in the mayor's office, and now you have, what is it, We Are Us and all these organizations that the mayor continues to fund. And I thought those organizations were supposed to help these squeegee kids get off the streets. So essentially, I believe this is basically like taxpayers paying child support at the end of the day. You should not be paying these kids to stay off the corners. They should be either in school or they should have an actual job.
They tried to say that the workforce training program would be similar to like apprentices we see across the country. Do you think that that would be an effective way to help these folks get a hustle? Because they're obviously trying to make a few bucks outside. They're trying to set them up in a way that would help them have work. Do you think that that would be a necessary step as we move forward?
I just don't see it happening. I know you guys have been interviewing some of the squeegee washers out there on the streets of Baltimore, and many of them have said they make between $200 to $500 a day. If they're only offering $250 a month, those kids are still going to be out there because, again, they make more money being out there. They have to say, look, we have to get these kids off the corners. I will say the fact that it's going to start in January and not say tomorrow, I think this sends a message to incoming state's attorney Ivan Bates, right? This will happen similar to the times that he's going to be sworn in, and the mayor's basically saying, look, you might have a plan on your own, but I'm going to enforce the plan that I have, which I have to say is opposite of what state's attorney Ivan Bates said he was going to do. He said one citation and then he's going to prosecute. This is not what the state's attorney wants to do, and I think that there's going to be some infighting coming up in January.
On the notion of citations, we did hear that that's something they're planning on doling out if people are violating this law. There's questions, though, as to how that could come about. How will you find squeegee kids, follow up with them? Are you have any concerns on that measure?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we had that tragic incident where the murder of Timothy Reynolds happened on Light and Conway Street. If you recall, that squeegee worker, the only way that they were able to get him is because he came forward with his father. Otherwise, they were looking for that child, and that is a child that supposedly is going to trial for murder. I don't think they're going to be able to keep track of any of these kids. Like I said, this is not an answer. I can't believe that other business owners even was on this initiative and collaborated with the city on this, because this is not going to solve any of our issues.
It definitely is the first time we're hearing from the collaborative. They're saying this is a moving, breathing document. It could change. Any faith that this could work?
Unfortunately, like many programs that I see here in Baltimore City, I don't have the faith that it will work. I mean, I'm going to remain optimistic because, of course, Mayor Scott's going to do what Mayor Scott wants to do. But I do think that many of the citizens here in Baltimore City should take a stand on this issue. This is hurting businesses. It's hurting actually the kids that are out there on the corners. They shouldn't be in traffic in the first place, and we should not set them up for failure, right? This is the low bar or the bigotry of low expectation, in my view, and we should be telling these kids, look, you're worth more than this. You have more potential than squeegeeing windows.
All right, so I just want to get into another part of this aspect. Beyond that, do you think that the Squeegee Collaborative sets a precedent for how we should be enforcing the law? Are you concerned that this is maybe appeasing? I know there's a code of conduct that squeegee workers will be able to implement themselves. Are we appeasing this behavior, or do you think we're going to be moving in a way that will help enforce the law?
I don't think we are. I think we are appeasing the situation. You know, just yesterday around 7 p.m., I was driving down East Fayette Street, and of course I was trying to swerve around those kids on dirt bikes that are still on the streets of Baltimore City. So like all of the things that are wrong in the city, all of the low-level crimes, I think as State Attorney Marilyn Mosby refers to it, there's still issues. And so we have to enforce the law. If they can't enforce this, I mean, really, what can they do?
All right. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you for your insight.
Thanks.
This brings us to our question of the day. Do you think Mayor Scott's squeegee plan will be fully implemented and work? So far, 96% of those who voted say no. We want to hear from everyone. Go to foxbaltimore.com/vote to weigh in. Elsewhere in a city in crisis, sources tell Fox 45 News a person on a dirt bike shot at someone in traffic. It happened on President Street overnight. Citizen app video from this scene shows a heavy police presence. Fox 45 News, we've reached out to police for details. We have not yet heard back. The latest example of a long history with problems with dirt bikes in Baltimore. Now, even though dirt bikes here are illegal, a law police largely don't enforce. Last year, a rider was killed after hitting an emergency vehicle. This year, rather the year before that, a rider hit a group of pedestrians, including a 5-year-old child. Back in 2021, the city dissolved its dirt bike task force. It was created in 2016, dedicated to identifying and charging those riding bikes in the city illegally. But just last month, Mayor Brent Scott signed a new law creating stiffer penalties for dirt bike riders. That includes a fine of up to $1,000 and up to a year in jail. That law went into effect last week. Law enforcement experts we spoke with say they don't think the new law will change very much.
If the police aren't going to enforce it now, what makes them think they're going to enforce this when there's just another law with a $1,000 fine?
News has also spoken with dirt bike riders who say they don't care what they're doing is illegal.
I just ride my dirt bike for fun, for real. But they're illegal. I mean, I do it for fun. It ain't illegal to me.
Now, we've done extensive reporting on dirt bikes in Baltimore City. You can find all of our reporting on our website, foxbaltimore.com. The cost to keep your house warm is going up across the country, but even more expensive in Maryland? Yeah, we'll get into that after the break.
And after a nice little break from using our heat this past week, you're going to need it in the week ahead. We are included in a freeze warning tomorrow morning. I'll explain what this means for our temperatures to kick off a brand new week in a couple of minutes. It's 8:09. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
Making headlines this morning, President Joe Biden is in Cambodia this weekend for the annual summit between the U.S. and Southeast Asian nations. It's a chance for Biden to speak with U.S. allies ahead of a highly anticipated face-to-face with Chinese President Xi Jinping later this week. This is his first time since taking office they'll be meeting. Now, Biden is urging greater cooperation in the region amid climate change, escalating tensions in China, and North Korea's recent provocations.
Together, we will tackle the biggest issues of our time, from climate to health security, defend against the significant threats of rule-based order, and to threats to the rule of law, and to build an Indo-Pacific that's free and open, stable and prosperous, resilient and secure.
The meeting between the two presidents will happen at the G20 summit in Indonesia tomorrow. Big news coming out of Nevada this morning as election results are finally in. How a win for Democrats will impact Washington. Plus, ballot counting continues here in Anne Arundel County. The latest on the race for county executive and the impact it could have on the people waiting for those results. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. Shifting gears now to your Vote 2022 coverage, the Associated Press has declared Democratic Senator Catherine Cortez Masto the winner of the election in Nevada. With that victory, Democrats will keep control of the U.S. Senate. They still hold 50 seats, while Republicans hold 49, at least until the runoff vote in Georgia. That's happening on December 6th. And even if Republicans win in Georgia, Vice President Kamala Harris would continue to cast that tie-breaking vote, guaranteeing Democrats' majority. Now, Democrat Governor-elect Wes Moore already making the rounds on national media. He was on MSNBC just last night talking about what he hopes to accomplish in office. He'll be on Fox News later today, and we'll recap that for you at 10 o'clock here on Fox 45 News at 10. And while Wes Moore celebrates his win, we still don't know who won the race for Anne Arundel County Executive. Right now, Jessica Hare leading 51% of the vote against incumbent Stuart Pittman with 48%. The county just scanned about 2,500 mail-in ballots yesterday, and they've still got thousands left to count. So we likely won't know the results for a few more days.
The longer it takes to count ballots, the more crazy conspiracy theory stuff happens, and you place more distrust in elections. And you're seeing that right now. Democrats mail in their votes now. And Republicans had some of these early leads. And all of a sudden, these leads are going away.
Another race we're waiting on is that of District 12B's state delegate. The district covers northern Anne Arundel County. Democrat Gary Simons is facing Republican Ashley Arias. Simons is in the lead right now. Just a dozen or few so votes separate the two candidates. All right, topping your consumer news this morning. Heating costs are rising and prices are expected to be higher here in Maryland compared to other parts of the Northeast. Now, that's because the government data shows the country has just 25 days left of diesel supply. And Northeasterners, well, heavily rely on diesel for home heating in the winter. The prices for November already skyrocketing 38%, and the national average for diesel fuel up more than $5 a gallon. Market conditions are tough for those looking to buy a home this year. Mortgage rates are under just around 7% for a 30-year mixed loan. That's more than 4% higher, about 4% higher than just a year ago. However, real estate experts say it's not impossible to buy a home. It's just they've got some advice for house hunters. Experts say if you can't afford to buy now, take out a fixed mortgage with the hope that you can refinance it at a lower rate in about a year or two. If you have enough cash on hand, you should pay more upfront than buy down your mortgage rate. Finally, pay attention to location. Area is where there isn't any buyer competition. Those sellers are being forced to be more flexible with their prices. Alrighty, we're looking in for a chilly day today and throughout the week, I'm guessing. Meteorologist Amy Aronson here to break it all down for us.
Yeah, much cooler today, and this is just the start of a big pattern shift for us. We've been enjoying temperatures well above average for the start of November. Now, as we head towards the second half of the month, going to feel more typical for this time of year, actually below what we should be seeing. Mid-40s to start off your Sunday morning. We're under a northwesterly wind at 15 miles an hour, making it feel just a little bit cooler. A brisk start to the day in wake of that cold front that moved through, taking clouds along with it. Clouds will continue to clear this morning. It is producing some snow showers in extreme western Maryland. Not going to be the case here, but we are included in this purple. That's a freeze warning overnight tonight through Monday morning, and that's because our temperatures will drop to near freezing levels. Let's track our temperatures hour by hour. Today, we just barely reached that 50-degree mark, a much cooler day than it was yesterday. Overnight tonight, under clear skies, temperatures fall and plummet to near freezing. Lots of upper 20s and low 30s to start off your Monday morning. So you're going to want to have a nice warm, actually winter jacket to step out the door tomorrow morning, because here's where our temperatures are by lunchtime. Still stuck in the upper 30s, low 40s. I don't think we get out of the 40s during the afternoon tomorrow. Now let's talk about our next chance for some rain. Next weather maker arrives on Tuesday. That means more snow showers for western parts of the state, the higher elevations. For us, it just means a chilly rain unfolding Tuesday afternoon through Tuesday evening. Some soaking rain at times overnight Tuesday through early Wednesday morning. This should wrap up pretty early on Wednesday by daybreak, and after that we are dry again for the remainder of the week. If you have to get some raking done, maybe you want to blow your leaves away, temperatures will be very cool the next 2 days. I'd bundle up if you're going to do that today or tomorrow, but you do want to knock it out before Tuesday, because that's when we are tracking that next chance for some rain. A chilly rain on Tuesday with highs in the mid-40s. And showers will wrap up early Wednesday from that. After that gets out of here, a cool second half of the week, too. Temperatures are in the mid and upper 40s each day. That's our high temperature for the day. Our overnight lows will be awfully close to freezing, and that's going to be the case pretty much every single morning here, leading us up to next Saturday. Taylor?
Yeah, something that's not stopping the cold, porch pirates. Yeah, we've got an update for how you can keep your packages safe this season just ahead. You're watching Fox 45 News, all local, all morning. Looking ahead to the holiday season, law enforcement around the country is warning everybody it's time to be on the lookout for porch pirates. Lexi Schroeder with our Sinclair station in Wisconsin has the tips to keep yourself protected.
According to CNR research, package theft continues to be an issue for many Americans. About 23% say they experienced package theft last year.
There are millions of packages that are going to be stolen over the next 6 weeks as the holidays approach.
Bob Tucker with ADT Security says porch pirates are on the rise.
We are getting increased inquiries from our current customers who are wanting to add camera devices to their current security systems, and we're also getting inquiries from new customers.
It's theft, and there's always the potential of other issues that may happen, or attacks, or whatever the case may be.
Lee Franzen says he's never experienced a porch pirate, but his worry remains high for others.
I'm concerned especially of the seniors and those people that are not able to monitor that stuff.
ADT suggests the best way to catch a porch pirate is with a security camera. That way you can see the thief and turn video in to police.
Numerous studies have found that just the camera itself being visible to the would-be thief is enough to deter them to go on to another porch.
30% of people who dealt with package theft last year have had a package stolen more than once.
It's not uncommon, and certainly when the holidays are approaching.
Lieutenant Mark Weary with Fox Valley Metro Police says porch pirates don't just hit around Christmas time.
It is an issue that happens all year long because people order things at home all year long. Stealing off of porches is really a crime of opportunity.
As a crime of opportunity, preventing or discouraging package theft can be done in multiple ways.
Have the package delivered to your workplace or to a trusted neighbor, somebody you know that's going to be home.
Now, here in Baltimore, a local contractor has a way to stop package thefts. FOX45 News spoke with him back in September about his creation. It's a box you can put outside of your home and put packages into it. FOX45 News' Rebecca Pryor has this story.
So the thing about porch pirates is they can't steal what they can't see. Right now, this Amazon box sitting here just playing out in the open on this stoop, it's a massive target. But we know if it's out of sight, it's also out of mind for thieves.
The city's rise in crime is coming for your front door.
A lot of issues.
That is, if it hasn't already arrived.
We can't leave packages for more than a couple minutes.
All across Baltimore, day in and day out, porch pirates have been pilfering packages from people like Allie and Marie.
I mean, extremely disheartening and just like frustrating.
Who live in a nice part of town just north of Patterson Park.
But usually it's you know, clothing, things of that nature that could be $100 to $300 clothing.
By the time I get the delivery notification from Amazon that it's out there within, 5-10 minutes or so, come out to the door, it's gone.
It's an area they love, but aren't sure they can stay in much longer.
When you deal with something like this, it just almost is like, is it time for us to move?
To make matters worse, both say investing in Ring doorbell cameras has done little to deter crooks.
Mine misses like pretty much every package being taken.
But now, a local construction worker is getting to work on a mission to put package thieves out of business.
The pirates, they think they can get away with it.
Inspired by a story he read on social media.
A person got stolen their medicine. Somebody just come and took it. And, well, that was what made my heart go soft.
Alejandro Espinosa is taking a break from home improvements.
So this is a prototype.
To create a contraption that he hopes will improve his entire community.
I don't have a name yet. I would like to call it anti-theft box or hood-proof box.
Here's how it works. The box is guarded with a special lock and latch. So when the package drops down...
And then when it drops...
The latch comes up.
Because this thing is on the way for them to grab it.
And no one can open the door without the code.
It needs to be secure.
It's not just like the plastic or the metal boxes that everyone sees and kind of ignores too.
We've seen a couple different options, but this one's just like really sturdy.
I'm just focusing on making them tough, like resistant to the elements. Like, if someone tries to break on it, they will break their hand before they can break into the box.
Allie and Marie say their whole block will benefit from this new lockbox.
Even, if our neighbor's out of town, she can utilize it and, you know, we can just grab something for her.
And while it is a little pricey, this one cost about $1,000.
I can make it affordable to whoever needs it.
More than profits, Alejandro just wants to provide Baltimore residents peace of mind.
Like that person that got their medicine stolen, if I can find it, I'll build one for her for free.
Now again, this is the first lockbox that Alejandro has ever created. They're also completely customizable, so if you want it bigger, you want it smaller, you want it made out of different materials, he can do that for you. If you're interested in buying one yourself, his contact information is in this story on our website at foxbaltimore.com. Reporting in Baltimore, Rebecca Pryor, Fox 45 News.
All right, much like the last time the two teams played in Baltimore, the 2022 edition of Navy Notre Dame went down to the wire. How the midshipmen nearly pulled off that comeback. That's just ahead in Sports Unlimited.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
And good morning to you. Thank you for being here on November 13th. You're looking live at downtown Baltimore. I'm Taylor Stewart, and we are really starting off a little bit chilly today, and apparently it might be like that this week. Meteorologist Amy Aronson for a look at our forecast. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning. Yeah, it's like we flipped a switch, and now it feels like winter all of a sudden. We enjoyed the upper 60s yesterday. Not going to be the case today behind a cold front that is pushing through, moving actually further and further away from us. Coming in behind it, cold enough for some snow showers in western parts of the state. For us, that's not the case here, but we are included in this purple, and that's a freeze warning late tonight through early tomorrow morning. And at that point, our temperatures will fall to near freezing levels. We're not quite there yet. We are easing into it. Starting off in the cooler low and mid 40s this morning. It is brisk out there to begin because I'm also tracking a northwesterly wind gusting up to 20-25 miles an hour today. And that's going to make it feel just a little cooler than the numbers you're seeing here on this planner. We will see clouds give way to sun as we get into the afternoon. Temperatures will be stuck in the upper 40s, barely reaching the low 50s today. And this is just the start of a much cooler week ahead of us with one chance for rain. I'll explain exactly when that is and what it means for our temperatures for the rest of the week in 10 minutes. Taylor?
All right, now turning to wrap up your 2022 vote coverage and the ballot question that Baltimore City voters said yes to, question K. They decided to limit city council members, the mayor and comptroller, to 2 terms in office. In response, the council fast-tracked a bill, is trying to. It would decrease the number of years elected service leaders need to earn a pension. Right now it's 12. They'd like to move it to 8. Joining us this morning to weigh in, former Baltimore City Council President candidate and Chairman Giovanni Patterson. Good morning, Giovanni.
Hey, good morning, Taylor. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. So we really want to get into this. So lifetime pensions can be a major long-term financial burden for governments. the council is now trying to move this measure forward. Do you think they're considering the cost, and at what cost really are we looking at?
Well, yeah. So what's amazing about this is how quickly they were able to address this in response to a people-led initiative, which was Question K for term limits. I mean, there's so many other issues that they could fast track along. I mean, our property taxes are twice the surrounding counties. Our crime rate is still, rising. Our education system is failing. But they chose to address this. Now, again, these term limits don't go into effect till 2024, so there's plenty of time even after now to even address this. So it's just amazing to me, one, that they took this time now to do it, but when there's so many issues that face. But no, they did not take the financial ramifications into play here. It was really just a move really to protect their paychecks.
You've been a strong proponent for Question K. This was a very quick turnaround. Any indication as to why you think they maybe were so quick to try to make sure their pensions were protected?
Well, it just goes to show that the politicians have created this us versus them mentality where there is this kind of separation of, the government versus the people. And it goes to this kind of elitist mindset where they have to protect themselves versus doing the right thing for the people. That's the only reason I can think of.
Well, we crunched the numbers here. Only 3% of people who work in Baltimore City actually get a city pension. That includes both the public and private sectors. Now, if the vast majority of the public doesn't receive a lifetime pension, why do you think the council feels entitled to one?
Well, again, it goes back to protecting their own paychecks. Again, these are part-time positions, and I would like to name I'd like anyone to name any other part-time position that you only have to work for 8 years and then receive a lifelong pension, and not only lifelong pension, but that can be passed on to your spouse or children. So it really just shows the level of concern for themselves versus the people of Baltimore.
It's also brought up another issue with city police and firefighters. They had to see a reduction in the amount of years, or rather an increase in the amount of years they had to serve in order to be eligible for pension. So 20 to 25, and now they're saying, hey, you guys are trying to move from 12 to 8. It doesn't seem fair. Can you kind of weigh in on that?
Well, I mean, it's a fair point. Hey, it's like, okay for thee, but not for me. So it's a fair question. But again, these things just need to take time and evaluate. I do think it's a valid question as far as, hey, should our pension be changed? But the way they're going about doing it, the manner they're going about doing it, it really just shows, their level of protection for themselves versus the people of Baltimore.
All right, there you have it. Giovanni Patterson, thank you so much for weighing in.
Thank you.
Again. All right, shifting gears now to the crisis in the classroom. 6 guns have been taken from Baltimore City Public Schools this year alone. Police say the latest was found on an 18-year-old student at Mervo High School. That student also had drugs in their possession. A record 15 guns found in Baltimore schools last year, and just this past September, a student shot and killed at Mervo High School during dismissal. Mayor Brandon Scott tells Fox 45 News he hopes the incoming state's attorney, Ivan Bates, and Governor-elect Wes Moore will help with this situation.
When you see the record amount of guns that this police department is seizing, that means that we have a lot of work to do on the backside to talk about that accountability as well. And that's what I am so excited about now, working with our new state's attorney and our new governor to fix and work on things in the system to create that accountability after arrest, because we, the school police, BPD, can continue to seize and make record amounts of gun arrests, but it's also about what happens on the backside.
And in Michigan, a mom is leading a local fight to get, quote, sexually explicit books off of school shelves. Stephanie Butler is concerned about the content in Dearborn Public Schools. She says various books confirmed to be in its libraries contain inappropriate content for young students. After months of digging, Butler has caused other parents to join in her fight. She accuses the district of using Title IX as, quote, an excuse to offer the books.
Title IX does not say you need to put sex books on the shelves. That's not representing LGBTQ. if you want to represent, no kid should be represented as some sexual creatures. I don't care, be it homosexual or heterosexual. It's not okay. They're kids.
Dearborn Public Schools has implemented a review process where parents can now weigh in on the library books their children are reading. The school also says it welcomes concerns from parents. Sinclair Broadcast Group reached out to the district for comment, but has not heard back.
We are tracking some colder air, winter-like air pushing into the region. I'll explain exactly when our temperatures reach freezing levels this week in a couple of minutes. It's 8:37. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
All right, here's a look at today's steals and deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
Are you a loser? Let me rephrase that. Do you frequently misplace things, like your keys? Ugh, that sinking feeling just as you're about to head out the door. Where are my keys? I think we can all relate, and it's so frustrating, especially when you're on the go and trying to be somewhere on time. Well, I have the perfect solution for you. It's the KeySmart Pro, a compact key organizer with a special twist. It finds your keys or any device you attach it to. The Tile tracking app is free and it's super easy to set up. Give one to that person in your life that's always asking you, hey, have you seen my... You get it. KeySmart Pro can hold up to 14 keys neatly and comfortably. And if you're like me and you carry your keys in your pocket, this will keep you from getting holes in your pocket. And ladies, same goes for the lining of your expensive purses and handbags. I'm definitely getting one for my wife and my daughters. Ooh, my mom could use one. Anyway, here's another benefit. If you're always misplacing your phone, you can send a ping to it just by double-clicking the button on the side. The KeySmart Pro holds a charge for up to 45 days, and it only takes about an hour to fully charge. Right now, we're offering 42% off the KeySmart Pro. Get one for all the losers in your life. Head to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer.
A sure sign of the holiday season, the installation of the famous Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. The 82-foot-tall Norway spruce weighing in 14 tons arrived yesterday morning. That tree was cut down on Thursday. It's estimated to be close to 90 years old, nearly as old as the Christmas tradition itself, 90,000 rather. It'll be fully decorated ahead of the tree lighting ceremony on November 30th. Similar to this time last year, the two teams that played in Baltimore Yeah, the 2022 edition of Navy Notre Dame went down to the wire once again. How the midshipmen nearly pulled off the comeback, coming up in Sports Unlimited.
And we're off to a much cooler start this morning. Mid-40s are back. I'll explain exactly how long this cooler stretch is going to last in a couple of minutes. It's 8:42. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
Welcome into your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. The Navy-Notre Dame rivalry dates back to the late 1920s. The two teams have gone at it plenty of times over the years. More than 20 of those have been played in Charm City. Yesterday, the Fighting Irish and the Midshipmen got together in Baltimore for the 95th meeting all time. First matchup in Charm City since 2008. Notre Dame off to a hot start, already up 7-0. Drew Pine to Braden Lenzy. He somehow makes the catch, pins it against the defender's back. Unbelievable. So Navy in a 14-0 hole. The give here goes to Daba Fofana, and he is gone. 36 yards to the crib, midshipman on the board. But Notre Dame would score 21 in the second quarter. This time Pine gonna take it himself, fighting ahead for more yards, dives for the pylon, and he's in for 6. Fighting Irish led 35-13 at the half. Notre Dame alum and Ravens tackle Ronnie Stanley in the house, enjoying that bye week. Notre Dame couldn't say bye to Navy, though. Second half. Here come the midshipmen. Xavier Arline to Mark Walker, 23 yards on the score. Good two-point conversion, cuts it to 11. Under 2 minutes to go. Masai Maynor in at quarterback. Look at end zone. McQuell Haywood with the sliding catch. My goodness. Navy needs another two-point conversion to keep their hopes alive, and they get it. Vincent Terrell Jr. getting it done. Down 3, under a minute and a half to go. Navy needs the onside kick, but the midshipmen unable to recover it. Notre Dame wins a thriller, 35-32 the final. What a ball game. Maryland football may be bowl eligible, but Mike Loxley and the Terps football team, they're still not content, and that's understandable. They want to make a statement and show the Big Ten that they're for real. A win on the road over a ranked Penn State team would definitely help their cause, but it just wasn't the Terps' day. Maryland could not get anything going offensively, just 60 yards on the ground, 74 through the air. Defensively, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. Terps got behind 14-0 in the first after a 45-yard touchdown by Nick Singleton. In the second quarter, it was Singleton again. He was having his way all day, finding pay dirt again, this time on a 27-yard run. Terps shut out in Happy Valley 30-0. The first time they've been shut out since September of 2019, also against the Nittany Lions. Towson looking for its third straight win. Tigers roaring into their matchup on the road with Stony Brook. Tyrell Pigram connects with Isaiah Perkins early to break the scoreless tie. Stony Brook would score 14 unanswered. Let's fast forward to the third. Tigers trailing by a score. Pigram Dials up Darien Street, 36 yards on the score, and the Tigers are back in business. Tied at 14 on the made extra point. Stony Brook would then take a 17-14 lead, but the Tigers, on a 3-yard run from Devin Matthews with under a minute to go, win their third straight game, 21-17 the final score. Morgan State locked in with Delaware State, and this one was all Bears all day long. First quarter, Delaware State on to punt, and it's blocked by Jose Robinson, and he returns it 26 yards on the score. He'll just do it all himself. That'll get the team fired up. Delaware State would take the lead in the second when C.J. Henry finds Bizette Woodley for the tud. Look what I found. The one-handed grab makes it a 7-6 game. Bears took the lead right before half. Deuce Taylor to Joseph Awumi. That caps off a 5-play, 38-yard drive. Behind big play after big play after big play, the Bears get the win. 37-7 the final. How about some D3 action? McDaniel and Johns Hopkins going head-to-head at the home of the Blue Jays. Johns Hopkins up 10-0 here. Danny Wolf punches it in from 4 yards out. Blue Jays take a 16-0 lead. McDaniel would answer right before the half. On the doorstep, DeAndre Carter in for 6. Johns Hopkins led 16-7 at the half. Blue Jays started the second half hot, and they would not look back. Spencer Ugla, 40-yard dash. See ya. Somehow gets out of that tackle. Johns Hopkins goes on to win big, 44-7, the final score. That's your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. Have a great Sunday.
Good Sunday morning. After a nice mild start to the weekend, today's going to feel much different. And according to the Climate Prediction Center, this cooler trend is actually going to continue, at least in our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. This takes us all the way through November 22nd. And if you look at the different colors here, you'll notice we're included in that darker blue. That means a really high chance that our temperatures will be running below average as we head through the middle part and the later part of the month. We are starting off with some clouds this morning. You can see the sun poking through the clouds, though, and eventually the sun will be taking over today, not providing us a whole lot of warmth, though. These numbers aren't going to change a whole lot. We're starting off in the cooler low to mid 40s this morning. I think we just barely reached that 50-degree mark today. Plus, we've got some winds on our hands. Winds are all coming from the northwest, a cooler spot, a cooler direction, and that's going to keep us feeling brisk. Actually, right now, wind speeds ranging anywhere from calm up to 15 miles an hour, with gusts even higher than that. Wind gusts up to 20, 25 miles an hour. And this is all behind that cold front that continues to pull away from us, dragging all that colder air in behind it. Cold enough for some snow showers in extreme western parts of Maryland this morning. They will not reach us here. We're just looking forward to some sunshine today. But as we head through the week ahead, we do have another chance for some precipitation. Today, tomorrow, completely dry. High pressure will be building in, sending us clear skies. But as we get into Tuesday, here comes that next chance for some rain. It means snow for the higher elevations again in western Maryland and western Pennsylvania. For us, I don't think that's going to be the case. Just a very chilly rain will unfold here Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, right into Wednesday morning. And then after that gets out of here, another cool couple of days. Today's going to be much cooler. We just barely reached the low 50s. Overnight tonight, temperatures fall and near freezing. After that, temperatures actually struggle to get out of the 40s tomorrow. I think we're stuck in the mid and upper 40s through much of the day. Because of the near freezing temperatures, though, tomorrow morning, we are included in a freeze warning. That's from Baltimore and eastward, all the dark purple here on the map. This basically means temperatures will drop to near freezing, upper 20s, low 30s tomorrow morning. So protect any sensitive plants that are still outside, and also makes you bundle up as you head out the door to work, to school tomorrow morning. Here's a quick preview of a couple of mornings this week. Each and every morning, temperatures are awfully close to freezing, with the exception of Wednesday morning as that weather maker moves through. But even Thursday and Friday morning will be a little frosty, near freezing temperatures again, with morning lows dipping into the low 30s. And cool afternoon highs. Every single day out of the next 7 is coming in below where we should be. We should be in the upper 50s. Instead, we're about 10 degrees below that tomorrow. Mid 40s with some showers showing up Tuesday afternoon through early Wednesday. And then the second half of the week is drier, but it's just as cool. We've got a stretch of the upper and mid 40s that will take us all the way through the start of next weekend. Taylor?
Making headlines this morning, the Department of Justice is stepping in to appeal a ruling by a federal judge in Texas. It's a motion to strike down President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. It was already on hold following a separate challenge. National correspondent Andra Allen-Shar has a look at where things stand.
The 26 million Americans who owe federal student loans and already applied for forgiveness want to know, will they or won't they get what was promised by the president?
This is a game changer for so many people.
Trump-nominated District Court Judge Mark Pittman of Texas striking down the president's student loan forgiveness plan, calling it an unconstitutional exercise of Congress's legislative power. The Department of Justice already filing an appeal. In the meantime, the Department of Education pausing applications. The administration argues they do have authority to forgive loans under the 2003 Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students Act. The lawsuit brought by the conservative Job Creators Network, representing 2 Texans with student debt who do not qualify for forgiveness, claiming they were arbitrarily excluded from the program and that the implementation didn't follow the Administrative Procedure Act's formal notice and comment rule. George Washington University law professor Alan Morrison says their argument is flawed.
The remedy now would be to require the agency to go through that procedure and consider giving people more money. It would not be the remedy to cut off the money from the people who already have it.
The Job Creators Network reacting to the ruling.
We feel very confident in our case, but we are prepared to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court.
And it may come to that. However, Justice Amy Coney Barrett's already dismissed 2 separate cases challenging the president's plan. But another option for implementing the plan can be found across the street in Congress through legislation, which is how the president originally wanted to get this done. Midterm ballots still being counted, but the balance of power in Washington doesn't appear to be shaping up in a way that would deliver enough Democratic votes to pass the president's forgiveness plan into law. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atrell Nashar reporting.
Wrapping up here just after the break, a full breakdown of your 7-day forecast just ahead.
.56 on this Sunday morning. Looks similar to what we had yesterday, Taylor, but it feels so much different outside this morning. That view's a little deceiving. It's much cooler out there. Grab a jacket if you're stepping out on this Sunday. Plus, it's breezy. Winds will be gusting up to 20-25 miles an hour. And this kicks off a new stretch. The first half of November, I felt like was very, very mild.
It was nice.
Lots of 60s and 70s. Now we've got a cooler 7 days ahead of us. That means upper 40s come tomorrow, mid 40s on Tuesday with a chilly rain. And then after that, temperatures will actually stay below average. Not only do we have highs stuck in the upper 40s, mid 40s Friday and Saturday, we've got some really cold nights coming up. We actually have a freeze warning overnight tonight because we drop into the low 30s. But really, we're going to see temperatures close to that every single morning. morning, with the exception of Wednesday morning this week. So I think if you haven't switched over the closet just yet, now would be the time to kind of break out the warmer stuff, because in the week ahead, you're going to want to have the nice puffy jackets each morning as you step out the door. And I think even these temperatures, the high temperatures, warrant flannel shirts, all the fall, maybe even winter things. I know you came up from Florida. This is going to be a shock to your system.
A good old onesie, maybe.
Just cover
a
everything.
Full blanket, just walk around like that. Those 30s are pretty scary looking.
Yeah, stay warm this week.
All right, well, looks like we're heading into winter. All right, thanks for joining us this weekend here on Fox 45 Morning News. Have a great week.